Welcome back. So, this is another little rock chronicle. First, let me start by saying my cows, they're coming in quite nice, but they're uneven. So, I'm attributing that obviously to being right handed and taking most of the holds more aggressively with my right hand. So, I need to become more ambidextrous and the hands don't lie. So they'll tell because yeah, this side seems pretty smooth on this and you see what's going on here. So yeah, my cows. Sorry, I gotta show you. Get out of here. This is Fat Boy, by the way. His real name is Diaz, but he's turned into a plumper. Okay, sorry. That's what I'm contending with when I'm shooting a lot of the times. I just have the ability to ignore it, but I don't know. That time, see, distracted me. Anyways, Kels. So, um, the one thing that I need to really, and here, this is gonna be a funny thing because people like from where I work, if they hear me say this, they'd be like, yeah, right. But the people that I do come in contact with, that I do, I guess, like or get along with because there's few and far between. So I think of other people too much. And that I think is like overall um, been my problem when I think of like why does things kind of go wrong. So at the end of the day, I need to put myself first and get shit done. And I think that's part of the thing that's been distracting me. So, I mean, like, here's the deal. If I'm really, like, thinking of other people and, like, want to help, I think it's better that I help myself. Because, you know, what kind of help are you going to give if you're literally in the same boat as this person? So, I think that is the issue or one of my issues. But yeah, I think that's one that's helped keep me back. But I'm not going to attribute my lack of being where I want to be to that because I would argue that a lot of it has to do with just fear. And see, here, I believe this to be true. Like, even when, if I think about it, this would be one of the reasons that would hold me back is the fear of looking stupid. But at the end of the day, like, do I really care? And the answer is no. So this is what's gonna make me pull the trigger. Just finally stop convoluting everything and just make it simple and get to it. So, yeah. And the funny thing is, I never really looked at it as fear. Like, I never said to myself, oh man, I don't want to do it because I think I'll look stupid. But if I, like, try to look at the reason, I think that's it. I mean, when I first started climbing, and even now, like I'm not the most graceful thing on the wall, so I enjoy it too much to really care. Plus, it's a bonus. The people that like, again, you have total strangers like cheering you on when you hit a route. So, like I said before, 2023 is where the grind really begins. And the thing is, too, I have to, because I can't have this video and then in a year from now be yammering about the same thing. So, this now is a must do, which is fine. Because, like, why wouldn't it be? Why wouldn't I make that promise or commitment, or why wouldn't I? So, I have, I will. It's time to do. So, thank you for listening. I think I lied a little bit because I said this was Rock Chronicles. I talked about the callus on my hands and then I started rambling on about but I think it's significant though, because I can still look back and attribute a lot of this to rock climbing. So I would say rock climbing has still been a catalyst. Because here, I box, I Thai box, and you know, people know that I've done that, and so on and so forth. But for some reason, I never felt like a badass doing those. I just did them. And nobody ever sort of reacted like, "Ooh, you're a badass," kind of thing. So I just never did. I mean, I had a couple of people that questioned why I did it, but I'm like, come on, it's a primal thing. Anyways, now with climbing, for some reason, I feel like a badass. And maybe it's because of the reason that I have to conquer a fear to deal with it. And with like boxing and Thai boxing, I never really had a fear of, I don't know, hand-to-hand combat or getting rough. Not saying, here, that's incorrect. I never had a problem dealing with that fear. So that just came as part of the package to me. The fear and I guess the ability to have that aggression sort of leveled out, as opposed to the fear that I have rock climbing is far greater. Now, when I'm bouldering, there's not an issue. The issue comes in when it's top rope and I'm dangling 40 meters from the top. Now, when I'm climbing, some of that comes into play, but because I'm focused on trying to climb, I can sort of block that out. It hits me when I'm done. That's when that's when I feel like a cat that's crawled up a tree and can't get down. Because that's when my fear is just at its utmost, because I'm not distracted with climbing anymore and the reality of where I'm at is just set in. So it'll be interesting to see, because I like I spoke about this a little bit before. Like, I'm not sure I'll ever not be, I'm sorry, have a healthy respect for heights or hyper respect. I'm not sure that will ever happen, but I think climbing will help me to. You believe Fat Boy's back? Climbing will help me deal with it. So, anyways, I don't know right now. We'll see how it goes because I'm no less scared. That's for sure. Did I say scared? Man, the fact of the matter is, I'm terrified of heights. Yeah, me and heights, we just don't get along. So this is why rock climbing is like a funny thing to me. Um, but I don't like things that scare me to control me. So I mean, I just went up the CN Tower a few days ago, and I went up. I don't even know what it's called, but you got the main thing where the restaurant is or whatever. And then somebody came up with the brilliant idea to go a little bit higher and then have a pendulum swinging back and forth to indicate how much the CN Tower is swaying. Why? So I was up there. Now, needless to say, it was terrifying. And the funny thing is, there was somebody that was up there as well that I would say was equally as afraid of heights as I was. So to see this person and to think that's me, oh, cracked me up even more. I was dying. And yeah, come to think of it, they were laughing at, yeah. No, fair enough. We were amusing each other because, see here, I understand the science behind it. So they build the tower so that it's not rigid and it can sway. But that doesn't make me feel any better knowing that it's doing that. It just doesn't. So I will report back to see how climbing sort of, or if climbing helps, or if I'm just climbing around the fact that I have this fear. Is that way it's going to be? That fear will never go away, and I'll just climb around it. If that's the case, I gotta say, when I think about it, and I don't know what's wrong with me, that kind of excites me. Because, I don't know, a two for one, because climbing just itself, so like bouldering, there's not really height involved, but I love that. So if I can climb and get that fear at the same time, that I've learned to sort of navigate and I guess cope with, yeah, I'm down. Yeah. So, again, thanks for listening to my hopefully articulate rant, because I know I was all over the place, but I hope I signaled every now and then and there was some segue. Thanks.